Introducing the Chatham-Kent Cougars.
Playoffs coming on.
Welcome to the Chatham-Kent Athletic Field and ready for a good game of football. Peewee Division. Introducing the roster for Chatham-Kent Cougars. Starting with number 2, Nakoma Scott. Number 3, Ben Barnard. Number 4, Evan Torres. Number 5, Cody Lund. Number 6, Ethan Jordan. Number 7, Jonathan Cartier. Number 8, Tyler Creechan. Number 11, Cameron Welch. Number 14, Evan McGregor. Number 15, Zach McGlynn. Number 18, Connor Roebuck. Number 20, Andrew Carroll. Number 22, Tanner Horbeck. Number 23, Julian Farrell. Number 24, Keegan Lalone. Number 25, John Conde. Number 28, Ethan Joseph. Number 33, Bennett Brown. Number 35, Connor Wright. Number 40, Garrett Stonefish. Number 44, Joshua Zyber. Number 45, Cameron Creechan. Number 50, Jake Deneau. Number 54, Connor Van Hesch. Number 58, Ethan Chipka. Number 64, Lucas Doyle. Number 65, Garen Grant. Number 71, Trey Postma. Number 75, Seth Bowers. Number 81, Drayden Ronda. Number 86, Jacob Alderdice. Number 99, Alex Sudo. Number 91, Dante Hanser. Number 60, Lucas Miller. Number 17, Trenton Amaro. And last but not least, number 26, Damon Rabos. Give them all a big hand, folks. And introducing Number 4, Ethan Chambers. Number 6, Wyatt Bryson. Number 8, Addie Large. Number 10, Tristan Theroux. Number 12, Cobbin Llewellyn. Number 15, Alexander Bradbury. Number 18, Connor Badine. Number 19, Matt Soames. Number 20, Mark Summers. Number 21, Cameron Guest. Number 22, Timo Shields. Number 24, Connor Kelly. Number 25, Tyson Blake. Number 26, Connor Elliott. Number 27, Reed Bedard. Number 32, Tristan Richards. Number 33, Zach Estevez. Number 36, Ben Reiger. Number 37, Finn Vanderswan. Number 38, Brad Young. Number 39, Owen Zebrecht. Number 44, Zach Blasey. Number 46, Adrian Zebrecht. Number 48, Nick Shorey. Number 49, Hunter Weingarten. Number 50, Joshua Medeiros. Number 52, Anthony Manning. Number 56, Caden Jajal. Number 58, Philip McLeod. Number 60, Jeremy Elijah. Number 62, Adam Close. Number 82, Patrick Murphy. And last but not least, number 84, Aiden Holland. Let's give him a big hand, folks.
And we welcome you to TV Cogeco's coverage of the Chatham-Kent Cougars Football Club through the 2013 season. We are in the Peewee Division Day of Champs. And the Chatham-Kent Cougars playing for the bronze here this afternoon against the Forest City Thunderbirds. And Chatham-Kent getting the opening kickoff. They're going to get some pretty good field position up close to midfield. They get brought down around the 52, maybe the 53-yard line on their own side of midfield. So very good opening field position. Trying to get the bronze medal today, Mike James.
Yeah, solid return there from Lucas Doyle. Certainly looking for the bronze, expecting a good matchup here today. These two teams have played each other twice this season. Both of them close games, but both coming out in favor of the Forest City Thunderbirds. So obviously plenty of motivation here with the bronze medal up for grabs, and obviously a little extra motivation for the Cougars trying to get their first win against this Forest City team.
First and 10, 53 is where they spot it. And a short little pass along that left side. It is caught, and this is going to be a first down and a lot more for the Cougars. And a nifty little pass there, Jonathan Cartier. That actually might have been Matt Kling who had the short pass along that far side. And a big pickup there for the Cougars, a first and 10.
That was an interesting little lineup they had there. Actually had Julian Farrell at quarterback, and it was Jonathan Cartier who made the reception. So a little change in position there because Cartier is actually the starting quarterback for the Cougars. They line him up at wideout, and they've got the same formation again. Cartier lined up on that left side.
And headed off up the middle, a big run, lots of room to move, trying to get the extra daylight. Had one man to beat, but he was brought down. But a big-time run, number 64, Lucas Doyle, had a lot of room up the middle. He found a couple of pockets, and he gets deep into Forest City territory. So 2 plays in, and the Cougars moving the ball nicely.
Nice run by Doyle, nice blocking up front by that offensive line, creating a nice big hole. Doyle, no problem getting to that second and third level. Finally dragged down by the safety, but a big gainer and a fresh set of downs for the Cougars.
It looks like it's going to be Cartier at center this time around. And he will hand it off in a little trick play after the running back into the end zone. Touchdown, Chatham-Kent, hauled in by Cody Lunn in the end zone. And that was heaved up by Julian Farrell. Cartier was lined up at quarterback. And little trick hand there by the Cougars, working nicely, 6-0.
Boy, oh boy, the Cougars offense clicking on all cylinders to start this one. A couple of big plays in a row, just 3 offensive plays there to go half the length of the field for the touchdown. That time, the quarterback just pitches it to the running back, then a nice passing play to, you mentioned it, Cody Lunn reels it in, and a nice touchdown pass there, 15 yards, and Cougars jump out to a 6-point lead.
Cameron Cregan going to go for the extra point here to try to make it a 7-0 edge for the Cougars. It'll bounce off of the snap. Kick is up, and it is wide, missing that near upright. So it's going to remain a 6-0 lead for the Cougars. But again, as you mentioned, Mike James, very efficient opening drive.
Certainly, I don't think you could sketch it any better, really. 3 big plays on offense for the Cougars, and they're into the end zone. Unfortunately, it looked like Forest City got a hand on that extra point attempt for the Cougars, but really the only blemish in that touchdown drive right there. Very impressive to start this game. Cougars just looking very, very crisp on offense to start this one off.
Mike Renier along with Mike James. Jeff Brooks on the camera here with TV Coach Go. The Peewee Day of Champs, and the Cougars very proud to land this day. Top 6 teams from the regular season into today's game. The Cougars fighting for the bronze medal and the 3rd place finish for the 2013 campaign, and a beautiful afternoon. And the field looking in very good condition after severe thunderstorms pounding the entire area last night. But all things considered, Mike, I don't see really any wet pockets from last night's storm.
No, the field's in tremendous condition. Great looking field here today at the athletic complex, and really, really lucky to see this field in such great condition after you mentioned the storms that came through. I understand they were actually supposed to play a game here last night, one of the Cougar squads was, but obviously the lightning and the storm prevented them from doing that. Speaking with one of the members of the Cougars coaching staff from that team, they actually had whiteout conditions, except it wasn't obviously whiteout, it was rain. They said never seen that before, where the rain is actually blowing sideways off the ground. The wind was picking the collected water off of the ground and blowing it across the field. So obviously they couldn't play that game last night, unfortunately.
Quite incredible last night, but all things considered, beautiful day today, and the field very nice for this triple header of football at the athletic complex. And the Cougars battling for 3rd against Forest City here this afternoon. Thunderbirds getting the opening offensive drive here as they keep it on the ground. Looks like they'll get maybe 3 yards, maybe 4 up the middle. Nice little second effort push, getting past the 50-yard line. And for the Forest City Thunderbirds, a diminutive running back, but kept low to the ground and picked up some good yardage there on 1st and 10.
Yeah, we understand Cameron Guest, number 21, the running back for Forest City, who got the carry there, is the go-to player, if you will. He'll see the ball the majority of the time on offense. He's, and we understand anyway, their key weapon on offense. So we'll have to keep an eye on, again, number 21, Cameron Guest, the running back.
And once again, handed off up the middle, and a big, big hole on that far side. Guest is going for a huge gain, and maybe all the way as he's separating himself from the defense. It is a touchdown for the Thunderbirds. And Cameron Guest, 2 runs and half the field into the end zone for a touchdown. A 50-yard march to pay dirt, and that ties up the football game here at 6. After the Cougars needed 3 plays to hit the score sheet, only 2 for the Thunderbirds, and both runs by 21 Cameron Guest. And you mentioned it, Mike, a key offensive weapon, and he showed why there.
Right on cue, really. Cameron Guest just pulls away from the pack. He finds a hole on that offensive line on the right-hand side and really just turned on the jets and ran away from the defense. And a key reason why we're going to have to keep an eye on number 21 right there. He's got speed to burn, and used it that time to burn the Cougars defense for 6.
Adrian Zabret's trying to get the lead for his squad. Kick is up, and it looks like it is through, and so the Thunderbirds will grab a 1-point lead, a 7-6 game now. And we've only played a handful of minutes. Both teams very economical with their march down the football field. One possession each, one touchdown each, and a combined 5 offensive plays, making it a 7-7 football game. So if it holds steady, we're going to get a very high-scoring football game.
Quite the offensive explosion to start this one off. You're right, Mike. We're going to set records if this stays true to the course that we've seen so far. Phenomenal play on offense from both sides. And, boy, I'm just anticipating what kind of game we're going to see the rest of the afternoon. We've still got 8:58 to go here in the first quarter. And as you mentioned, it's just 5 plays on offense in total for both squads.
If you like offensive football, this is going to be, judging from, there's a little confusion on the scoreboard here. They put an 8-6 lead, but it is 7-6 here for the Forst City Thunderbirds. But judging by the 2 drives here, it's going to be a very entertaining offensive display here. Both offenses clicking in the opening 6 minutes or thereabouts of this football game as it's kicked off here by the Thunderbirds. A bouncing football gets past the Cougar at the 35-yard line, back to retrieve it and trying to get that lost yardage before being brought down. Evan Torres on the return, and the Cougars getting some fairly decent field position to begin their second offensive drive.
Yeah, unfortunately a tough bounce there for Torres as that ball got to him. A little short hop just before, maybe about 2 yards in front of him, and the ball skipped forward nice and low, and he couldn't get a hold of it, had to retreat to grab that one, and did the best he could with that return. So a little longer field this time for the Cougars offense. Again, coming off that first series, 3 plays and a touchdown. We'll see what they've got here.
From their own 35-yard line, Cartier again under center as he gets the snap, handing it off to the running back quickly. Actually, he keeps it himself. A nice little fake, and Cartier's got some room along that far side. He'll get the first down and a lot more as he eludes another tackle. He's up to the 40-yard line. He might be away to the races here, all the way down that far sideline, and a touchdown for the Cougars. A great fake there by Cartier. He finds a hole along that far side, and he just simply outran the defense. 2 touchdowns now for the Cougars. We've seen a combined 6 offensive plays for both of these teams, and it's already a 12-7 football game.
65 yards on the run for Evan Cartier, and just unreal. Beautiful fake on the handoff, and then takes it out to the left-hand side, and then uses his elusiveness, makes one of the defensive backs miss, and then turns on the Jets the rest of the way and runs away from the defense. Makes you think Cartier sending a message to Guest, you know what, it took you 2 runs on that offensive possession to get a touchdown. Let me show you how it's done with 1 run.
So we've gone from 3 plays to a touchdown for the Cougars, 2 plays for Forest City for the touchdown, now just simply 1. And a 12-7 lead thanks to the legs of Jonathan Cartier as he takes that one all the way himself. And now they're going for 2 and into the end zone. A bouncing football off of the hands of Cartier as he tried to haul it in for the 2 points, but it's not good, and it's 12-7. That's going to be the lead for the Cougars. 8:10 remaining in this opening quarter.
It looked like maybe one of the defenders got a hand on that football intended for Jonathan Cartier, and it falls incomplete. Obviously the Cougars looking to make up for that missed extra point on the first touchdown, so unable to do it there. So just a 5-point lead now, despite 2 touchdowns for the Cougars and 1 for Forest City.
Got volunteers making their way around with 50-50.
Entertaining start of this football game, the Peewee Day of Champions here at the Chatham-Kent Athletic Complex. Cougars hosting for this year and putting a nice display on early on in this football game in front of their home crowd. Now a little squib kick at midfield, and it comes loose. Looks like Forest City still able to pounce on it. That squib kick almost working out there for the Cougars. 8:10 remaining here in this first quarter. At a 12-7 lead, and football will be around midfield, actually in the Cougar side of midfield, and so some darn good territory here for the Thunderbirds.
Ben Bernard, number 3 for the Cougars, nearly able to jump on that one. But a little trickery there right off the top for the Cougars. The onside kick. And they did get the result they were looking for in terms of getting the bounce off the return man, but Forest City able to jump onto it before Bernard got there.
From the 53 of the Cougars, 7:45 and counting to go in the quarter number 1. And the Thunderbirds will keep it on the ground, running back bringing it past the 50-yard line. And Guest able to pick up 3, maybe 4 yards in the opening drive. Opening play, I should say, up to around the 48-yard line.
Cameron Guest on the run for London. He's second down and 7.
Guest being relied upon heavily early on in this game, as he probably will through the entire football game, but he showed already in the opening couple of touches why he's so valuable on offense. Four-yard pickup on the ground, bringing up 2nd and 6. Once again, they hand it off to Guest up the middle. Nice job by the Cougars, though, and the D-lineman able to catch up to him, bring him down. And that was a minimal gain at best. So good job there by the Cougars D.
Nice job there by Cameron Creech at number 45. Fighting off the block. He actually had a man on him. And Creechin fights through it and makes the tackle on Guest and brings up a key 3rd down here. A chance for the Cougars to come up with a stop on defense and force Forest City into the first punting situation of the game.
2-yard pickup that time on the ground. 3rd down. And 4 yards to go. So a big defensive opportunity here for Chatham-Kent. A little pitch to the left. Guest has it, trying to find a little room to move along the near sideline, trying to get around that one man, and he finally does. Does he get enough for the first down? It's going to be a close one, as Cameron Guest once again getting the call there. And from this particular angle, it's going to be a close call here to see if they got the first down. Yes, they do. They just got it by a couple of inches, and they say move the chain. So 1st and 10 here for the Forest City Thunderbirds as they rely heavily on Guest.
Ben Bernard had him in his sights. He got his hands on him, but Guest fought through the tackle and able to keep his feet there, showing the strength that he has. Guest fights through that tackle from Bernard at the attempt and able to get enough for the first down. Julian Farrell eventually gets the tackle for the Cougars, but just inches enough over that line to get the first down.
So this will be the 4th offensive play in this drive. So this is officially the longest offensive drive of this football game so far in a 12-7 game. And they keep it up the middle once again. A quick tackle. Guest brought down by the Cougars right as he's met at the 40-yard line. So maybe a couple-yard pickup at best there for Forest City.
Nice job by big number 58, Ethan Chupka.
Ethan Chupka with a big stop.
Big tackle there. The defensive lineman. Just a short pickup. Chupka sheds his blocker and then wraps up Guest. Guest was able to fall forward, but good solid tackle from Chupka there to minimize the gain.
Just under 5 to play in quarter number 1. Once again, quarterback can't get off to the running back quickly, and right before he gets the line of scrimmage, he is met by a whole bunch of white and green jerseys. And
Cameron Guest with the carry runs into a slew of Cougars.
See if he gets any gain at all. Looks like he's stopped right at the line of scrimmage for no gain, so 3rd down and 8 will be the call here. So best standing so far for the Cougars defense. And they're certainly looking for a stop right here.
Yeah, good job by that defensive line that time. 45, Cameron Creechin, and again, number 58, Ethan Chupka. Both of them there in on that tackle. And I think that Cougars defense just teeing off, watching wherever Cameron Guest goes. They figure that's where the ball's going.
And doing with what works so far, they're keeping it on the ground, and a big run. Perhaps stopped just before the first down. We'll have to see how much he got on the ground there, but the Forest City Thunderbirds coming very close. And it is going to be about a yard shy.
Big tackle there from number 64, Lucas Doyle.
Picks up about 6 yards, it'll be 4th and 1.
And that might have been a touchdown-saving tackle because I don't think there was much left to beat if Doyle doesn't make that tackle. And fortunately, it's short of the first down as well. So interesting to see if Forest City decides to go for it here.
22 Timo Skeel with the carry that time around, almost getting the first down on 3rd and 8. He got 7 on the ground, so a big 4th and 1, as you mentioned here, Mike. 3:25 and counting remaining in quarter number 1, trying to get that extra yard. And it looks like
yeah, that was a quarterback keeper there.
He does
Patrick
get the first
Murphy.
down.
Patrick Murphy with a quarterback keeper up the middle for the first down.
Yeah, just the quick snap. The center basically, the quarterback will decide. Usually on that kind of a play, the quarterback will decide when he wants the football, and he'll just give the center a quick tap. As soon as the center feels that tap, he'll snap the ball, and then the quarterback will just decide what side of the center he's going to go, either left or right, and then just dive for that first down. And that was enough for the first down there from Patrick Murphy.
Fresh set of downs, and flag is on the play, and that's going to blow the play dead before it even materializes. And it's going to be against the Forest City Thunderbirds, so it's going to back the football up a little bit. I believe procedure was the call. It's going to be a 5-yard penalty regardless, so 1st and 15.
Thunderbirds be 1st and 15.
Backed up to outside the 35-yard line, so hopefully the Cougars can take advantage here for that 5-yard reversal of the football.
If I'm not mistaken, the first penalty of this game as well. It's been a pretty clean, well-played game to this point.
We've zipped through quarter number 1 here, 2:25 and counting to go. As more often than not, the clock in motion here with the Peewee division. As they pitch it off to the running back once again. Here's Guest, and he is met by 2 big-time Cougars ready to go. And throwing him down for a loss right there. Evan Torres was a part of that 2-defender tackle there on the running back.
Beautiful tackle there. It was actually Jonathan Cartier. They got the initial pressure and then forced him right into Evan Torres. Evan Torres came in on a mission to take him down that time. A beautiful hit. Good solid contact, and not much gain there at all. Actually, they're going to say it's a loss of a couple yards, so great job by that defense and a nice big hit. First big hit we've seen in this game. Evan Torres, number 4, gets the credit for that one.
7-yard drop, so that brings up a tough 2nd and 17 here for Forest City. 43-yard line of the Cougars. They elect to keep it on the ground once again and handing it off to Cameron Guest, and he doesn't get too much. 2 yards from this angle anyway, 2 yards at best. On the ground, 3rd down. They only get maybe 1 yard on the ground that time, so 3rd and 16 is coming up here from about the 41-yard line. Maybe he did get a couple of yards just barely on that carry.
Looked like it was number 54, Connor Van Hesch, with the tackle there. Mentioned that big hit on the previous play. That's exactly what you want to do on the running back that's going to get the boatload of the carries. If you can punish him a little bit, maybe force him to think when he's running into that defensive line, you can slow him down a little bit and make him a little weary of running between the tackles.
Going to the air on 3rd and very long, and no receiver really in the general area off of that pass, and that falls incomplete. So 4th and 16 coming up here, 29 seconds remaining in quarter 1.
And this certainly looks like a punting situation here. I think we're going to see pretty sure we're going to see the first punt of the game here, unless we see a fake. But Forest City, the first one looks like going to be forced to punt in this game. And credit to that Cougars defense. Great stand on that one. Obviously, they had some help with the flag that put Forest City back 5 yards. So they started out 1st and 15, but the Cougars defense looks like they're pretty fired up here, and a nice performance on the second offensive possession of Forest City.
Clock back in motion here, 10 seconds and counting to go in quarter number 1, as the Thunderbirds will punt it away. Number 38, angled punt. Brad Young kicking it away as the quarter comes to an end. A couple of flags on the field.
4-yard return. There's a flag on the play.
There's some flags. Not sure if that's going to be a no yards call or not. Now, Forest City, yeah, they've waved it off because what had happened was Forest City actually lined up a man on the outside that was onside. It was a number 8 that was lined up onside on the far side, Addie Large. So the punter obviously punts that one away, and number 8, Addie Large, is onside, so he can run down and pick it up before the return man, and that's completely legal and would have given Forest City the ball. But a good job by the Cougars return man to jump on that right away, very aware of the onside man for Forest City, and the Cougars maintain possession, although they are deep in their own territory to start this third offensive possession.
Ball resting at the 20-yard line as quarter number 2 will begin here. At a 12-7 lead for the Cougars in this bronze medal game here. The battle for third place in this Day of Champions. The Peewee division, Chatham-Kent Cougars and the Forest City Thunderbirds. Couldn't ask for a nicer day here, too, for a triple header of football.
And we certainly lucked out considering the weather that we've had all week. I mean, temperatures in, the mid-30s, low 90s, if you will, and humidity pushing the temperatures over 100 for sure. The Humidex over 40 this week, I think 4 consecutive days, maybe 5 consecutive days. So we had some rain, as we mentioned last night, and certainly has cooled the temperatures down to, I would say we're in the mid-80s today.
It's more manageable, too. Not quite as humid as we've had to put up with the last week or so. So certainly nicely timed for the Day of Champions here today. Nice blue skies up ahead. Cougars getting the football back as their first play of this possession. They keep it on the ground and make a couple of yards on the ground. Number 64 for the Chatham-Kent Cougars. Lucas Doyle getting, I believe, his third touch of the game.
I like the Cougars. They've mixed things up on offense as well. They have Julian Farrell again lined up at quarterback that time. So makes the defense think a little bit when you don't have Jonathan Cartier lined up behind the center in the shotgun position, because then they're thinking to themselves, okay, we've got Cartier lined up at wide receiver. Are they just going to throw a quick maybe wide receiver screen? What are they going to do with Cartier? Again, Cartier lined up at wide out, but they're going to go the other way.
Going to the air, pass caught along that far side, trying to get up to the 30-yard line. It's going to be close, still short a little bit of the first down, but a reception nonetheless. They move the football to maybe about 2 yards shy of the first down.
That was number 24 with the reception, Keegan Lalonde. So a third and short here for the Cougars, as you mentioned, Mike. But, again, I like the way that the Cougars mixing up their offense so far. Again, using Jonathan Cartier as a decoy some of the times here. And, again, Cartier lining up at wide receiver here on the near side of the field in front of us.
And they will keep it on the ground, trying to get that 2 yards, and they will, and a lot more, crossing the 35 to close to the 37-yard line.
Julian Farrell with a handoff to Lucas Doyle.
And Doyle getting the first down, moving the chains for the Cougars as they keep things moving in a 12-7 lead.
Yeah, good strong run there from Lucas Doyle, big number 64. Doing it on offense and on defense. We've called his name on both sides of the football. Came up with that big tackle on the previous drive for Forest City. That time a big carry for the Cougars to get them a fresh set of downs here.
From the 36-yard line. First and 10 as Cartier has the football. He keeps it himself. He's going to run off to the left, trying to get around that one defender. Flag is down on the play. He gets some good yardage, finally stepping out around the 46-yard line or thereabouts.
Jonathan Cartier with the quarterback keeper.
And we'll see what the orange flag will tell us about the penalty here.
Might be guessing a hold here against the Cougars. In the area of where that flag came down, Cartier was coming around that corner, and the flag came down where looks like the wide receiver was trying to get a block on the defensive back, and they're going to say there was holding there.
Looks like the Cougars knew it right away as they were moving backwards right after the end of that play.
Again, a nice little mix-up there on offense for the Cougars. They've got Cartier and Julian Farrell lined up behind the center, both in shotgun position, both of them with their hands up. So leaves the defense guessing who's going to take the snap. That time it was Farrell taking the snap, and then he hands it off to Cartier, cutting across the front of his face. And then that was the play that got them the touchdown on the previous drive. Once again, both of them in the backfield.
So the work cut out for the Cougars offense here as they're at 1st and 20 as Cartier hands it off to the running back, trying to get some good chunk of yardage here, only about maybe 2 as they keep it on the ground.
Jonathan Cartier with a handoff to Julian
Yeah,
Farrell.
that time it was Julian Farrell, number 23, with the carry.
Only about a yard on the positive side for Farrell.
Yeah, they reversed the roles that time. That time Cartier takes the snap in the shotgun position, and he hands it off to Farrell, who tries the right side of that Forest City defense. But Forest City up to the challenge on that carry.
So 2nd and very long here. Once again, they will hand it out to the running back, who heaves it up in the air, trying to find that open receiver, and just barely out of the reach. I believe that might have been Ethan Jordan along that far side, trying to haul that one in. And he was about half a stride. Oh, pardon me, maybe Evan Torres
Cougars with the flea flicker attempt.
who
Ethan Jordan.
heaved it up.
3rd and 16 coming up.
Yeah, just out of the reach of Cody Lund. Nearly had it. A little bit trickery there. We've seen that play once before in this game already, and boy, that was close to being a big gainer.
Pardon me, 5, Lund. 5 and 6 look a little similar from this angle.
Agreed.
But he didn't have far to go to catch that one, just a half a stride out of his grasp. So 3rd and 16 coming up here for the Cougars. 8:20 remaining in the opening half. As Cartier gets the snap, fakes the handoff, keeps it himself, trying to find a receiver downfield. Can't find one, so he keeps it himself, trying to get as much yardage as he can on foot. And he's pushed out of bounds at around the 39-yard line, so he's still about 7 yards shy of the first down.
Cartier with a quarterback key would be short of the
And
first
that's
down.
still after a 9-yard gain on foot, going to be well short of the first down. So it looks like the Cougars are going to have to kick this one away.
Interesting here. The Forest City Thunderbirds were forced into a 1st and long situation on their last drive when they were forced into a punt on a penalty. And then the Cougars, same situation. They had that penalty on 1st down, the hold that pushed them back 10 yards, and they weren't able to recover from that. And now the Cougars are going to be forced to punt for the first time in this game. So back-to-back punts here for both squads after starting this game on fire.
Now maybe a timeout called here by, it looks like Forest City. 7:57 remaining here in quarter number 2. 12-7 Cougars on top in this OFC Day of Champions right here in Chatham-Kent. Cougars hosting it and participating in the bronze medal football game here, going for the 3rd place finish for the 2013 campaign, and a decent season it has been for the Cougars in the Peewee division.
Really, the Cougars organization deserves a lot of credit for hosting an event like this. Bringing these teams in, and obviously the Cougars covering the cost of the referees and the banners that the teams run through at the beginning, offering the vendors here for all the fans to come and watch their kids play in this game. It's a tremendous job by the Cougars organization to host this event here at this great complex, and I'm sure all the fans and the players appreciate it.
And a 4th and 9, the punt is blocked, and this is going to set up great field position here for Forest City right around the 30-yard line of Chatham-Kent. About the 31 is where they will start. And the line moving in quickly.
Cameron Keegan has the punt blocked by Philip McLeod.
And McLeod able to get his big mitts up in the air to block that punt by the Cougars. And that sets up a lot of momentum here for Forest City.
Yeah, that's a big play there on special teams for Forest City to block that punt, and then considering where the Cougars were on the field, where they were forced into that punting situation. Great field position here, the 31-yard line of the Cougars, and Forest City threatening to score here.
.30 to go in quarter number 2 as the Thunderbirds keep it on the ground but can't budge too much past the 30-yard line, so a minimal gain here on 1st and 10.
Yeah, that Cougars defense going to be put to the test here with this tough field position, but the defensive line answers the bell that time. About 3 Cougars in on that tackle that time.
Cameron Guest didn't get very far on that carry.
Looked like Connor Van Hesch, one of those Cougars, in on that tackle, and now the defense going to be leaned on here of the Cougars to come up with a big stop, not allow Forest City to put 6 on the board.
After a 1.5 yard pickup, 2nd and 8 coming up here for the Thunderbirds, down by 5, 12-7. The Cougars with the edge so far. Once again, Guest getting the call, and once again meeting a whole wall of white and green jerseys. And Guest again looking to maybe get back to the line of scrimmage at best. So the Cougars defense coming up nicely here so far, 3rd and 8.
Nice job there by Drayden Ronda. The beefy defensive tackle sheds the blocker and in on that tackle. Again, it looked like Connor Van Hesch involved in that tackle as well, but that defensive line right now answering the bell so far in this game in their battle with Cameron Guest.
From the 29-yard line, 3rd and 8 for Forest City. Once again, quarterback scrambling, giving it off to the running back, getting some room to move, and Cameron Guest brought down a fair bit shy of the first down, it appears, from this angle, and probably about 3, maybe 4 yards shy from roughly the 24-yard line or thereabouts.
Looked like it was Ethan Chupka, 58, with the tackle there for the Cougars. And Cameron Guest, he is a shifty running back. That time able to get through the defensive line and get to the second level, but good job by the Cougars defense to make that tackle, hold them short of the first down, and they're going to go for it here on 4th down.
Bit of a gamble here, down by 5 points. Trying to keep the chains moving here late in this first half. They keep it on the ground once again, a burst of speed, and this is going to work out for a touchdown for the Forest City Thunderbirds. A gamble that most certainly paid off as Cameron Guest goes to the big house and gets his team the lead once again, 13-12 for Forest City.
24-yard touchdown run from Cameron Guest. You knew who was getting the football, and Cougars just not able to contain him. Finds a hole on that right side and then just turns on that speed. Runs for daylight untouched, and Cameron Guest certainly the key to this Forest City offense so far in this game. Again, a 24-yard touchdown scamper there to put Forest City in the lead.
And the extra point blocked. So it's going to remain a 1-point lead for the T-Birds. It's 13-12, 5:05 to go in the second quarter.
Well, the Cougars return the favor there. They had an extra point of their own blocked earlier in this game. This time they're able to block Forest City and just make it a 1-point game.
.505 to go in quarter number 2. Very comfortable afternoon here at the Chatham-Kent Athletic Complex. Nice breeze coming across the field. Nice change from what we've had the last week around here, as the Cougars will get the football back. Line drive kick coming down around the 40-yard line. That's where the Cougars scoop it up, trying to get as close to midfield as they can to around the 47-yard line before they are brought down. And Cregan on the return.
Off to Evan Torres. The 1st and 10 Cougars.
5:01 to go, so the Cougars getting the football back, trying to get that lead back in their possession.
Yeah, decent field position this time for the Cougars. You remember they were certainly deep in their own territory last time they got the football after a nice defensive stand. This time starting from their own 40, I call it our, 46, 47-yard line?
47's where they're marking it. Trying to get that offense that they had their first couple of drives early in this first quarter. They've come up dry the last couple of possessions, so they're trying to get that early magic back here as we march towards halftime. Low snap, dug out of the ground. Now a throw along that far side, and it's picked up. Nice little catch and a reception, putting on the Jets here. Nobody in front of the receiver as he's heading to the end zone for a touchdown for the Cougars. Nice little play there. barely caught just by his fingertips by Ben Bernard. And then Bernard was able to get the speed going, getting some distance between him and the defenders chasing after him. And Bernard lumbers into the end zone, and another quick score there by the Cougars, wasting no time to jump back out 18-13.
One play, the second time that we've seen the Cougars on offense score on one offensive play. That time, Julian Farrell takes a snap, number 23, and then just pivots and throws it out to his wide receiver. Again, as you mentioned, Ben Bernard, number 3, and then Bernard showing his speed running away from that Forest City defense. And beautiful run from Bernard puts the Cougars back on top.
Going for a pair here. Pitch out to Cartier, using that big body to get around the defenders, and he is in for the 2-point conversion. And there is some laundry on the field here, so we'll see how the flag shakes down here. But a nice move by Cartier to just duck that football into the end zone. And this one is going to be against the Cougars here.
Looks like it's a false start on Chatham-Kent. So they'll have to replay that 2-point conversion, see if they decide to go for 2 again, which I would imagine they would.
After the penalty, Cougars going to try it again. Looks like they are, in fact, going to be going for a pair. Cartier lined up along the near side once again. We'll see if they pitched out to him. Nope, they go actually in the opposite direction. And this one knocked away by the defender from Forest City. And it will fall incomplete, so the score will now remain an 18-13 edge for the Cougars.
Yeah, that pass intended for Cody Lund looked like it just hung up in the air a little bit and nearly picked off by the Forest City defense, but it falls incomplete. So that's unfortunate. That flag erases 2 points off the board for the Cougars. Second failed 2-point attempt here for the Chatham-Kent squad in this first half.
But again, getting their offense back in order. Very efficient in the last drive. Very quick 6 points for the Cougars. And we'll see how their defense comes up here as we are 4:29 away from halftime.
Again, this Cougars offense has been impressive, and the key reason is because they haven't simply relied on Jonathan Cartier. They haven't allowed that Forest City defense to just key on Cartier. They've gotten other people involved, and a key aspect to that right there was you saw Ben Bernard catch a touchdown pass from Julian Farrell. So it makes that defense focus on other players on that offensive side of the football again, and just makes you that much more dangerous on offense as the Cougars run on an extra player here on the kickoff.
Kick to midfield. And pretty much right at the 55-yard line is where the football will be here.
Ethan Jordan and Evan Torres with the tackle there. Good field position for Forest City to start off. Just over midfield.
So far getting the lion's share of the plays. Cameron Guest on the ground as he has run all over the place here in this first half. Only seeing a couple or 3 passing plays in the entire game so far. It's all been basically on Guest. They had a couple of touches for 22 Demo Skeel as well. But it's been the Guest show offensively here for Forest City.
Timeout, Chatham Cougars.
Timeout here for the Cougars with 4:12 remaining in quarter number 2. Cougars looking to bring home the bronze medal.
These two squads very evenly matched, Mike. When you look at the points for and against so far this season, the Cougars have put 209 points on the board and allowed 198, whereas Forest City has scored 148, and they've allowed 153. So they're very close in terms of points for and against. And as we mentioned at the outset, these squads have played each other 2 times this season, and Forest City has taken both of those games, but by narrow margins. So a great matchup here for this bronze game on this Peewee Day of Champions.
And only a 5-point spread here, so it's still very much anybody's game, and I'm sure it's going to be like this for the remainder of this football game. 54-yard line. Forest City Thunderbirds with the offense as they keep it on the ground once again, not getting much past the line of scrimmage. As once again, D-line for the Cougars doing a very good job to contain the running game for the most part here of the
with the handoff to Cameron Guest.
visitors here in Guest. Getting the call once again, only maybe a 1-yard pickup at best. Second and 9. Once again, they hand it off, and it's going to be Guest who gets wrestled down right at the line of scrimmage. So another no-gainer there for Guest, and the Cougars maybe have started to figure out the running attack here for Cameron Guest, the Forest City Thunderbirds. 3rd and 9.
Good job there by number 3, Ben Bernard, with the tackle, and you just know that Ben Bernard's got speed because he showed you the speed that he had on that touchdown reception, the 63-yard touchdown reception that he had where he ran away from the defense. So if they're going to run to the side of Ben Bernard, they got to know that he can keep up with Cameron Guest, who also has speed. But I think it favors the Cougars if Guest runs to the side that Bernard's lined up on, because Bernard's got speed to burn as well.
Big play here defensively for the Cougars as a football pitched back to the running back. Now it is fumbled in the area for the Cougars. Was 3 Ben Bernard, but it looks like the Thunderbirds able to pounce on it to retain possession, but a big 4th and long is coming up here as they drop maybe close to 3 yards on that fumble.
Another good job there by the Cougars D, getting that helmet on the football, and the pitch was high as well. Cameron Guest was lucky to grab that one. That toss was up beside his helmet. He was able to get his hands on it, but as he tried to bring it down into his body, one of the Cougars defenders able to get in there and knock that ball down. Cameron Guest lucky to jump on top of it because Ben Bernard was waiting to get on that football, but Guest just beats him to it and now forces Forest City into a punting situation. And again, now Forest City, it's certainly worth noting they've got 2 men lined up onside, so they're able to jump on that football if the return man for the Cougars doesn't get to it first.
Football comes up, comes down around the 34-yard line, and it is going to get recovered by the Forest City Thunderbirds. Some nice speed there by Addy Large, defensive back for Forest City, as he just sped to that football. Cougars going to get to it. A couple of flags down on the field.
And number 8 was one of the men that was lined up onside with the punter.
The punt for Forest City from the onside position. First and 10, Forest City.
So the flags will be picked up. The reason the flags come out is the referees call no yards, but then obviously the referee that knew who was lined up onside able to advise the other ref that threw the flag that that man, number 8, was lined up onside and able to jump on it. So Forest City retains the football. I think the Cougars going to have to make some adjustments in the return game with those coverage squads lining up onside with the kicker with those short kicks.
2:09, lots of time left to go here this first half. Cougars hanging on to a 5-point edge, 18-13. 37-yard line is where the football is lined up. And once again, handed off to Guest, who's getting another carry, getting a lot of work here in this opening half. And he bursts his way to around the 33-yard line. Pickup of about 4 yards.
Cameron Guest gets some good logging.
Good tackle there from Cameron Creechin, number 45. Actually got his hands on the football nearly forced another fumble, but Guest able to hold on to it as he's being dragged down.
Under 2 to play, 33-yard line. Quarterback hands it off once again to Guest, but the Cougars were ready, stopping the gap right up the middle, and Guest ran into a white and green wall there.
Lucas Doyle on the tackle for no gain.
And Doyle getting into the defensive action there. He makes the stop.
I think Doyle was in to help out, but really it was Connor Van Hesch, number 54, that was that wall that greeted Guest right at the line of scrimmage. And great job of that defensive line so far in this game. They've really done a great job getting penetration and getting that offensive line of Forest City just standing up and not able to push them off the football.
3rd and 6 here for Forest City. Quarterback running off to his left, finding some room to move, trying to get that first down himself, but it looks like he is going to do just that as he scrambles to move the chains. And the Thunderbirds again able to make things work, but
Patrick Murphy with
maybe there was a
keeper for Forest City.
call on the field, but
10.
not the case. So it's going to be 1st and 10 here. From looks like the 22-yard line, deep into Cougar territory.
That was Garrett Stonefish, number 72, at the tackle that time, saving the touchdown. But that's the first time we've seen them do that with a little bit of trickery, if you will, for Forest City. They fake the handoff to Guest, and it's just a quarterback keeper. He runs out the other side, and nobody's got him. And it's easy to understand why that Cougars defense was fooled. Guest, I don't know that anybody else has touched the football for Forest City other than Guest. So everybody's keying in on number 21. And that time, Forest City, a nice job tricking that Cougars defense. Quarterback keeps the football and
Pardon me, I got a little excited and dropped the microphone.
And runs out that other side for the first down.
That will happen once in a while. 22-yard line of the Cougars as they keep it on the ground once again, but quickly wrapped up was Cameron Guess. I think he's had all but 2 touches. I think Timo Skeel has had a couple of runs, short ones. But other than that, Cameron Guest has been all over the field here in this first half. And with 1:01 to go in the second quarter, looks like a Cougar is slow to get up around the 29-yard line.
There was a big tackle there from big number 81. Again, Drayden Ronda on that defensive line for the Cougars. He just swallows Cameron Guest. As you mentioned, we do have a Cougar down. Looks like it's a left ankle, and that was number 54 who's being helped off the field. Connor Van Hesch, that's a big loss for the Cougars. He's been in on a number of tackles so far in this game. Hopefully he's all right. Possibly see his return, but not putting any pressure on that left leg. And again, he was reaching for that ankle.
Let's go, T-Birds, hurry up!
Let's go, T-Bird!
Big stop, Cougar! Go!
Once again, quarterback handing it off on the ground. It is Guest trying to turn the corner along the near side up to the 10-yard line or thereabouts. Enough to move the chains once again. A big first down. Turns the corner, gets enough on the ground, and we'll see if this is 1st and goal. Looks very close to it.
Tanner Horbeck and Ben Bernard on the tackle, but you're right there, Mike. Enough for a first down and setting up a 1st and goal here for Forest City. And you remember this drive all coming off of that kick that was recovered by one of the onside coverage men. And Forest City able to get 2 consecutive offensive possessions. You got to think maybe the Cougars defense getting a little bit gassed here as well, having to be on the field this long.
It is 1st and goal from the 9-yard line. Cougars 5-point lead, rather precarious right now. 37 seconds remaining in the half, but a big stuff here by the Cougars D, and the lineman bringing down Guest.
Nice job by number 7, Jonathan Cartier, shedding his block and making that tackle on Guest. In this first quarter, 35.9 seconds remaining. Boy, it'd be a big stand here for the Cougars if they can hold Forest City to maybe just a field goal attempt and maintain the lead going into half.
Timeout taken by the Thunderbirds. And as you mentioned it, Mike, it would be a huge boost if the defense were able to hold the Thunderbirds off the score sheet here. Entertaining first half of football here with this Day of Champions. Second game of 3 football games at the Athletic Complex in Chatham-Kent. Bronze medal game. Cougars on their home turf. Timeout over. Back to the same line of scrimmage, 9-yard line, 2nd and goal. Under center once again, shoveled off to the left. Here's Guest trying to find some room to move towards the end zone. Guest trying to get in, and he does for the touchdown. With under a half minute to play in the second quarter, the Thunderbirds jumping back out on top. And Guest able to find some room there to get 6 points. And the Thunderbirds from Forest City back on top by a point, extra point pending at 19-18.
They simply pitch it out to that left side, and Guest just uses his speed to get around the corner. Not even touched by a defender. And that's part of why he's so dangerous. Very explosive player, and runs it into the end zone there. And we'll see if they decide to go for a 2, and that looks like what they're going to do here. Look to go for the 2-point conversion.
Get a field goal lead, perhaps heading into the break as they keep it, throw it into the air towards the end zone, and swatted away by the Cougars. Faking it as the handoff on the ground went to the air and trying to find the near corner in the end zone. Didn't work out, so still a 1-point lead for the Forest City Thunderbirds, 19-18. Not a lot of time left here to work with for the Cougars as they will get the football back off the kick.
No, 28.6 seconds to go, and it is enough, though, to put some points on the board if the Cougars can get a decent return. We'll see what kind of kickoff formation Forest City goes with, if they try to kick it deep or just kick a quick squib kick and try to prevent a big return.
Good crowd on hand here at the Athletic Complex. Good fan base down from Forest City. The Thunderbirds finishing 3rd in the standings in the regular season, 4th for the Cougars, but as Mike James mentioned earlier, a very close matchup between these two football clubs. And a very good pairing for the bronze medal match here.
You can hear the coaching staff for Forest City yelling, "Watch the reverse," just in case there's any trickery.
Football line drive, gets past one defender, picked up cleanly though by the Cougars, heading towards the 50-yard line, brought down around the 48. The Cougars do retain possession, and that's where they'll start. 24.9 seconds to work with, so not a lot of time before halftime. Cougars now down by 1.
Yeah, Ben Bernard, number 3, scoops that ball up, but not a lot of room there to make a lot happen. Forest City going with a pretty short kick and trying to ensure no big return on them. So we'll see what the Cougars have up their sleeve here with little time remaining in the first half of football, trailing 19-18. And as you said, Mike, it's been a great game so far, very entertaining. We've seen some explosive plays on offense and some very nice plays on defense as well. So a great matchup, as you mentioned, for this bronze medal game.
Cougars have to be efficient here. 24 seconds to play in the opening half as they will heave it up in the air. And A defender for Forest City, the closest one to that football, but it falls incomplete behind everybody.
Julian Farrell with the incomplete pass attempt.
Farrell heaved it up.
10 Cougars from the 48-yard line.
And 5 seconds off the clock, so 19.6 seconds to go in quarter number 2. Ball still at the 47-yard line of the Cougars. There's still a lot of territory left to make up here.
The one aspect that did work out for the Cougars that time, that pass was intended for Jonathan Cartier. It falls incomplete, but it puts him right next to offensive coordinator Sel Jordan, who was able to put a play into his ear before he lines up for this offensive possession.
2nd and 10, faking the handoff, keeping it himself. Cartier turning at the 50-yard line. He's got some room to move here at the 45. Finally had nowhere to go but out of bounds. With 11 seconds to go here in the first half, put a big chunk of yardage there on the ground. And big number 7 using his size to get around the defense and get into Forest City territory.
And you can see Cartier with his hands on his hips for a moment there. And back on his hips again, he's got to be a little bit winded. Again, he ran deep on that first play of this offensive possession. That time he keeps it and makes a nice run. Unfortunately, just couldn't stay in bounds because he had a lot of daylight in front of him. But not a lot of time left here, 11.3 seconds, as you mentioned, Mike. But if the Cougars can pick up some yardage here, maybe we could see a throw to the end zone or a Hail Mary type situation or even maybe a field goal attempt.
And here's Cartier again getting the handoff, trying to turn the corner along that far side. Time not on the side of the Cougars with 3 seconds, now 2.5 seconds left. Forced out of bounds in the vicinity of the 35-yard line for Forest City. So it looks like they're just going to have to heave this one up towards the end zone. Hope for the best here in the what probably will be the final play of the first half.
Yeah, I think you're right, Mike. They're just going to have to throw up a prayer here into the end zone. See if they can make something happen. The only thing that stays in the back of your mind is that you hope that the other team doesn't pick this one off and then return it. That would really hurt, but you know, this is a situation where you want to take a chance. Maybe you run a little hook and ladder. Throw it to the receiver, run short, and then have another man run around him and take the pitch. We'll see.
And some trouble here for the Cougars in what will be the final play of the first half. Still on the feet. Trying to turn the corner along the near side. Still on the feet. Can he get to the end zone? No. Tackled by Forest City. But a fantastic effort by the Chatham-Kent Cougars trying to get to the end zone before the end of the first half. Julian Farrell doing his part. And he comes up a little bit hobbled, but it looks like he's going to be all right as he heads to the sidelines with the rest of this team. Good effort to end the first half. Still, the Cougars find themselves down by 1 point.
Yeah, Julian Farrell certainly had the fans in the stands on their feet, seeing if he could get it into the end zone. Made a couple of defenders miss, but eventually dragged down. But a great game to this point. A terrific matchup for this bronze medal game, and both squads got to be feeling good about where they stand, just separated by 1 point here. Looking forward to that second half.
You mentioned the close ties with these two teams, third versus fourth. 2 games down in the regular season. Forest City winning both, but not by much. And again, this is turning out to be a third game that follows the previous 2.
It's a great matchup. Usually, it kind of reminds me when you see 2 boxers that are evenly matched, and they go the full 12 rounds, and they leave you wondering who actually came out on top. A couple of great fighters here, these 2 teams. And again, it leaves you wondering who's going to come out on top on this one. It leaves you thinking that maybe it's going to come down to that one squad who can make that big play at the very end, or who can have that last possession to try and put up that last score to win the game.
It was a certainly great start to this game. First 3 possessions combined, leading to touchdowns, and it's been a close match ever since. A 19-18 lead here for the Forest City Thunderbirds over the Chatham-Kent Cougars. Day of Champions in the Peewee division of the OFC. Chatham-Kent hosting, going for that bronze medal, and 1 more half of football left to go. Cougars down by 1 point. Second half action coming up here on TV Coach Co. Mike Renier, Mike James, Jeff Brooks in the camera. We'll be back with the call of the third quarter coming up. Halftime over, third quarter underway. The Chatham-Kent Cougars kicking the football to the Forest City Thunderbirds. And Forest City enjoying a 1-point lead, 19-18, as the ball comes down around the 35-yard line. Picked up and brought past the 40-yard line, finally forced out around the 45. And number 33, Zach Estevez on the return. Some decent field position here for the Thunderbirds, 6 seconds into the third quarter.
Looked like it was Nakoma Scott, number 2 of the Cougars, that forced him out of bounds. And great looking halftime over there at the concession stands. I was taking a peek outside the booth, and boy, a big lineup for burgers, dogs, and ice cream.
Why not on a day like today? I'm sure the ice cream's going pretty quickly too, and the bottles of water.
We're also lucky enough to have a flyover at halftime.
We did see that, yes. Didn't see a banner attached to the plane, though.
No.
Yet.
No banner yet. Afterwards, perhaps a banner for the winning team.
The bronze medal winning team. Third place game here in this Day of Champs. So the OFC, the Cougars, proud to host this for 2013.
Let's go, T-Birds!
45-yard line. Forest City beginning their drive for the second half. They keep it on the ground, and they punch it maybe a yard, yard and a half.
Wow, I think that was a rare carry for number 22, Timo Scheel.
I think that's his third carry of the day total after the lion's share
Up the middle for a gain of 1.
on the ground. Seems like maybe 30 carries or more by Cameron Guest, number 21. So 21 and 22, the running backs relied upon here for Forest City. 1 yard gain by Skeel on that last play. So 2nd and 9 coming up here for Forest City. As once again the handoff comes to Guest. And Cameron Guest again a minimal gain of 2 yards at the most. So again, good job by the D-line for the Cougars to minimize the gains on offense for Forest City, bringing up a 3rd and long here.
Looked like it was Ethan Chupka and Cameron Creechin in on the tackle there for the Cougars. And as you mentioned, good job there. 3rd and long now for Forest City.
Good jump on defense for the Cougars out of the gate and out of the locker rooms here from halftime, and they'd love nothing more to get the football back here in short order and try and get the lead back. 3rd down and 8. And once again, they keep it on the ground. Guest again can't penetrate that defense from Chatham-Kent and stopped right at the line of scrimmage. So 4th down coming up, 4th and long for Forest City. And the defense for the Cougars doing exactly what they wanted to do to kick off this second half.
And that time, Connor Wright comes up big for the Cougars, number 35, a nice sure tackle.
4th and long coming up here for Forest.
And certainly a punting situation. And the Cougars now got 2 return men back, Jonathan Cartier and Ben Bernard. And I wouldn't be surprised the Cougars moved the return man up a little closer this time. If you do recall, in the second quarter, Forest City got a big break. They lined up 2 men onside with the punter, and one of those onside men was able to recover the punt. And now again, the Forest City Thunderbirds have 2 men lined up onside. You expect this kick to go to the right side. They've got 2 men lined up onside on the far right side of the field.
We'll see if the Cougars are ready for this. Kick is high up in the air, and it goes off the heel of one of the Cougars. Saw the ball ricochet, a couple of flags down.
I don't even know if the Cougars even touched it. That bounce was a terrible bounce for the Cougars.
Not sure. It looked like it might have been off of the toe of one of the Cougars. I couldn't quite tell. It was awfully close.
Now it's curious. They did have now the Cougars were prepared for the 2 onside men that were lined up on that side. They had a couple blockers out there, and when that ball hit the field, it bounced back toward Forest City. As you mentioned, Mike, Not clear if it hit one of the Cougars' toes and bounced that way, or if it was just a fortuitous bounce for the Thunderbirds, but I'm guessing it wasn't one of the men that was lined up onside that recovered that football for Forest City, so the Cougars going to maintain possession here.
So big break there for Chatham-Kent. Down by 1 point, 9-10, just getting underway here in this third quarter. Cougars want to get the lead back here in fairly short order. They keep it on the ground, some room to move past the 50-yard line, getting up to around the 47. Nice movement on the ground there by the Cougars.
Up the middle for about 7 yards.
Yeah, nice hard run from Lucas Doyle, big number 64. He's been effective on the ground so far in this game. We saw him have a couple big carries in the first half, and he's got that size and power where even if you get a hand on him, he can run through that arm tackle or push the pile forward. And he's got some elusiveness, too.
8.5 to play in quarter number 3. Once again, they hand it off to the running back, finding a seam, getting away from a couple of tackles, finally brought down. But a good job there by the Cougars, and Lucas Doyle once again getting the call on the ground, eluding a couple of tackles. What could have been maybe a short loss at a decent gain is what that turns into, maybe a 6-yard pickup.
Yeah, and a couple nice cuts there from Lucas Doyle. We do have a flag on the field. Just waiting to see what the flag is. Now we've got, I think Doyle's taking a knee. He might have been shaken up on that tackle. It was big number 50 that made the tackle there for the Thunderbirds, Joshua Medeiros. And it was a high tackle. And I wonder if Doyle maybe a little shaken up on that high tackle. It was pretty good contact, and it might have wrenched his neck, maybe a little bit awkward when he was taken down. So hopefully Lucas Doyle's all right. He's certainly a key on offense, but on defense as well. We've called his name a number of times in on some tackles, so certainly hope the Cougars not going to lose a key player here on their squad.
They need him. The rest of this game, 8:21 to go in this third quarter in the Peewee Day of Champs in the OFC. Cougars finishing 4th, playing the 3rd place Forest City Thunderbirds, but two very well matched teams here, as Doyle looks to be relatively okay as he's heading off under his own power, so hopefully he's just going to miss a couple of plays here and then back at it. So hopefully we can see Doyle back in action here in just a little bit. 1st and 10 for the Cougars, 43-yard line in Forest City territory. A pitch to the left, but right there was for 44 for Forest City, stuffing Bernard, and a big-time loss there.
Made behind the play by Zach Blessedy, about a 4-yard loss.
And that would be Zach Blessedy on the tackle, as he was right there to bring down the running back for the Cougars. So that's going to be a significant loss. 7-yard drops to 2nd and 17 coming up.
Yeah, got through the line very quickly, and that play maybe a little bit slow developing for the Cougars as well. And it was a low snap, so that didn't make it easy.
And going to the air, trying to find his man, and a reception for the Cougars. What a haul in there by Jonathan Cartier, playing receiver down that far side. And he uses that tall, lanky frame to his advantage. And a nice heave and a nice catch there as Cartier brings it in, and that's exactly what the Cougars needed.
Yeah, basically just throwing it up to a spot and letting his man make a play, and Jonathan Cartier does exactly that. And you know what? Credit to Julian Farrell. Boy, he's got an arm, because you know what? He's throwing into the wind there, and there is a sizable wind out here. You can see the Canadian flag at the far end near the scoreboard is certainly waving in the air. And you can feel the breeze up here in the booth as well. So Julian Farrell showing his arm strength, heaving that one out there, and nice grab by big Jonathan Cartier for the first down.
6:30 and counting to go in quarter number 3 as they will try and keep it on the ground. Nice move to elude 1 tackle, 2 tackles, and now some nice positive yardage here for the Cougars. Takes a couple of Forest City players to bring him down. And for the Cougars, a nice pickup there. And number 23, Julian Farrell, putting in a good effort here tonight.
Yeah, the Cougars showing they've got double threat capability with both of their quarterbacks, Julian Farrell and Jonathan Cartier. So certainly keeping that Thunderbirds defense on their heels. And who knows, maybe that was a blessing in disguise when Jonathan Cartier went down earlier this year and Julian Farrell was forced to play quarterback. I think maybe the Cougars found something that really worked for them.
And off the snap, kind of botched there. And play whistled down. It's going to be a big loss there as Farrell wasn't able to hang on to that football cleanly, but to be fair, the snap wasn't the prettiest either.
No, Julian Farrell didn't get a great snap, and when he went down to recover it, went down to his knees to pick it up, and you're down when you get down on your knees, down by contact there, and so puts the Cougars in a tough position, a loss of 4 yards. Big second down coming up here for the Cougars, and that wind's starting to pick up now. We can feel it up here in the booth, as I mentioned. Starting to pick up a little bit. Cougars going into the wind.
Cartier with that low snap, but he's got that tall body too. Now he's in a lot of trouble. Double, triple teamed. He's going to be brought down, so more yardage lost there for the Cougars as he looked to find a receiver downfield. Couldn't do it, and the defense quite tenacious there by Forest City. So again, they drop a fair chunk of yardage, maybe another 4 yards is what they drop. So this is going to be third and pretty close to 20 left to go.
Boy, the Forest City Thunderbirds defense had that read all the way. They had 3 defenders out there waiting for Cartier, and they made no mistake. They corralled them and dropped them for a loss, as you mentioned, Mike. The Cougars going to have to come up with a big play here, even to get a field goal attempt in with that wind picking up.
Ball on the 20. 18 yards to go for a first down. Third down, so this is a very key play here with 4 minutes left to go in quarter number 3. Fast-moving quarter, but they need to get some points and get a lead back. They keep it on the ground. Some nice yardage pickup here. Going up the middle. And a little slow to get up is Farrell. Looks like he is quite okay, though. And maybe getting the yardage on the ground that they need to get a decent chance at 3 points here.
Yeah, you mentioned it, Mike. I think those were some key yards from Farrell. Now they're marching this one back. There's a penalty against the Cougars. I unfortunately didn't see the flag on the field. Oh, it was a procedure call against the Cougars. And certainly an untimely one. Boy, oh boy, it's 3rd and a mile now for Chatham-Kent here.
Brings it back to the 25.
Nothing over the top now. Come on.
So now 3rd and 23 is your play here. So the Cougars need to redo what they just did on the ground, at least get that much yardage, hopefully maybe even more. And worst case scenario, they want to get a decent chance at a field goal attempt. Out of the shotgun position, and again, a timeout's being called here, I believe, against the Cougars, taking this one just before the snap happened. As the coaching staff want to talk things over, it didn't look like they were happy with what they saw.
No, and I think there was some confusion out there. It looked like maybe a player or two wasn't sure of the play call, so a good timeout here from the Cougars is certainly a key situation. Using that timeout, regroup, get everybody focused, everybody on the same page, and hope to gain enough yardage here that you can put yourself in field goal position. Again, the Cougars were at a 1st and 10 at about the 13-yard line. Now they've got the ball 3rd and a mile from their, from Forest City's 25 about.
Going the wrong way with the football and getting a couple of penalties mixed in there too. At least one penalty not helping the case here for the Cougars. Down by a point, 3:23 to go in the 3rd quarter. In the bronze medal football game of the OFC Football Day of Champs. Gold medal game coming up a little bit later on this evening, around supper time here at the complex in Chatham. Timeout over. Back to football here. 3rd down and 23. That's what faces the Cougars here. Another key play as they shovel it up the middle, and now it is dropped, and they're calling it an incomplete pass, I believe. That looked like that could have easily been called a fumble, too.
No, it was a shovel attempt from the quarterback, and that counts as a forward pass, so it falls incomplete. The Cougars going with a little shovel pass, a delayed shovel, trying to catch that Forest City defense off guard, but not able to complete that shovel. And had it even been completed, I think Forest City had done a pretty good job of having that covered. There were a couple of linemen around the area, so that pass falls incomplete, brings up a 4th down. Cougars likely going to punt this one away here. We'll see what the formation is, though. We could see them go for it.
4th and 23, and they are going to go for it on this long situation. The pass is caught, and did they get enough? It doesn't look like they got enough for the 1st down. Just past the 5-yard line. They had to get to the 2. A valiant effort, though, by the Cougars. Looks like they were maybe about 2-3 yards shy of that 1st down, but pinned deep are the Forest City Thunderbirds now.
Yeah, you know what? That works out maybe even better than a field goal attempt or a punt, because you don't have to worry about a dangerous return. I mean, it was a great completion, great catch by Ben Bernard, number 5. But, excuse me, it was looked like it was Cody Lunn, I believe, with the reception, number 5. But they come up just a yard or 2 short, as you mentioned, Mike. But, again, Forest City now pinned deep in their own end. You can expect a heavy dose. Not that we haven't seen it already, but Cameron Guest, you got to imagine, just going to continue to be fed the football in this difficult situation, considering the field position.
Not too often you see a 20-yard pass play not be enough, but in a 4th and 23 situation, Forest City taking over their own 5-yard line, so a big task here for the defense, for the Cougars, to pin them deep and keep them deep in their own territory. And
is that safety?
Is it in the end zone? Looks like
it's close.
It's a loss of some kind. I couldn't quite see where the running back comes down.
All over the inside run for no gain.
Boy, that was
they do make it back to the 5. Didn't know if it was going to be in the end zone, but they do make it back to that 5-yard line, just barely.
And you know what, to be honest with you, it looked like there was some confusion there. It looked like the quarterback had dropped back to hand the ball off, and there wasn't a running back there, and was forced to scramble and was eventually taken down for the sack by the Cougars. And looking at the sticks, looks like they're at about their own 1-yard line, narrowly avoiding a safety. And this Cougars defense fired up. They know they've got the Thunderbirds pinned deep.
Hard to see from this angle, but yeah, they did drop back 4 yards.
And certainly a good chance at a safety opportunity here for the Cougars defense.
2nd and 14 from their very own 1. Forest City throwing it up in the air and turned around. A little confused was the intended receiver, number 46. It was Adrian Zeberts, who was kind of looking the wrong way. And it falls incomplete. So a 3rd down now. 3rd and 14 from the 1-yard line. As deep as you can get here for the Forest City Thunderbirds. So again, one more big play here defensively for the Cougars. The next best thing other than a safety.
And you got to imagine this is a 1-point game, remember. So you got to imagine the Forest City Thunderbirds going to keep this ball on the ground. I was actually surprised they went to the air there, maybe trying to catch the Cougars defense off guard, because they're so used to seeing number 21 Cameron Guest. Big substitutions there from the Forest City Thunderbirds.
A lot.
Not sure why. Looks like they're going for the punt here on 3rd down.
Trying to clear it out of harm's way as best they can. Not taking any chances here, as we're down to under a half minute to go in the 3rd quarter. And a line drive kick, punt comes out. Cougars have it in very good territory. Very good field position deep into Forest City territory. Flag out.
Bernard with the return for the Cougars, about a 7-yard gain. Got a flag on the play.
No flags. They're going to put it back in their pockets. But as you mentioned, highly unorthodox when you have 4 downs to work with. You punt it away on 3rd down. But I guess they were thinking, well, it might be better than getting stuffed on the ground or an incomplete pass on a 3rd and 14.
Yeah, perhaps they were afraid of giving up the safety. That's about the only reasonable explanation I can think of, is that you're afraid of giving up a safety on 3rd down. You don't want to give up those precious 2 points, so you punt it away on 3rd down as opposed to trying to go for it on 3rd down and then punting it on 4th down. But tremendous field position here for the Cougars.
It's like from the 9-yard line, I believe. Trying to get the lead. The Cougars keep it on the ground, but right there, whoa, big tackle there from big number 50, Joshua Badeiros, throwing the running back down by the Cougars. And he might not have made it back to the line of scrimmage. It would have been close there.
Now the good news is the running back that was brought down was Lucas Doyle. You remember on the last offensive possession, Doyle left the game after being shaken up on a high tackle, but he's back in there, so good news for the Cougars. The big bruising running back in this game, but dropped for no gain there. Actually, looks like a loss of about 4 yards.
So 2nd and goal from the 12. And once again, it's fed up the middle. Doyle trying to get to the end zone. And he's brought down just shy here on 2nd down and goal. That is officially the last play of the 3rd quarter.
To a touchdown.
Boy, a great battle here between the offense and the defense. Doyle, as you mentioned, coming up just short. We'll have to wait till the sticks get to the other end of the field to just see how close he did get. Because as Doyle was being dragged down, he was able to pull a couple of defenders with him and then reach out with that football as he hits the ground. We'll have to see. It looked like he was maybe a foot short, if that, from the end zone.
Fairly solid running back, so he is going to drag some defenders trying to tackle him. So once in a while, that's exactly what he did here. So we'll find out where the spot of the football is to begin the 4th quarter. And a 19-18 lead for the Forest City Thunderbirds over the Chatham-Kent Cougars. A very entertaining football game in the bronze medal, the Day of Champs. Doyle 1 yard shy of punching that in for 6 points as we begin the 4th quarter. It is 3rd and goal from the 1. Cougars trying to grab that lead back. 19-18 for Forest City. And quarterback keeping it. Lots of room along that far side. He goes in for the touchdown as Jonathan Cartier keeps it. Rumbles off to the right-hand side. And again, he had a lot of room to move.
Jonathan Cartier.
And some pretty good speed for that tall frame. He rumbles in for 6 points. And the Cougars back up 24-19. We have a makeshift horn in the parking lot, I believe.
Nice job there from the offense of the Cougars. They fake that inside handoff. That freezes the defense just enough so that Cartier can then use his speed to get outside and run it in for the 1 yard score. And boy, that was a hard-fought touchdown for the Cougars offense. They're going to go for 2 here.
Trying to make it a 7-point edge if they can convert. Here's Cartier again. He has it rumbling off to his right, looking for somebody open in the end zone, trying to cut himself. Can he make it in? And he does. A 2-point conversion successful by Cartier as he did not give up. Made that happen all himself, and the Cougars do extend their lead to 7 points. A 26-19 lead.
Well, the Cougars certainly had their chances earlier at converting the 2-point conversions. They did have one call back on a penalty. This time they made good on it. And Jonathan Cartier showing his elusiveness there, rolling out to the right side. Certainly the Forest City Thunderbirds defense was ready for it, but Cartier using his athleticism to make a couple of defenders miss and then just points that ball over the goal line. And the Cougars do convert the 2-point conversion and now have a 7-point lead in this 4th quarter, and you can just feel that each possession now just carrying so much importance as this clock winds down and this bronze medal game, Day of Champs.
Very, very entertaining football game and perfectly timed for such an entertaining game. The battle for bronze in the OFC in the Peewee division for 2013. Cougars kicking it back to Forest City. Only 29 seconds gone by in this 4th quarter before the Cougars hit pay dirt. And a key 2-point conversion was successful. Kicked away by the Cougars, and Cregan picked up by the Thunderbirds, brought down close to the 50, not quite to the 50-yard line in their own side of midfield. And that's where Forest City will begin. Now it's their turn to try and punch back, down by 7 points.
Good job there by number 20, Andrew Carroll, in on the tackle. And good news, just hearing that Connor Van Heesch, number 54, back out on defense. If you remember, he left in the first half, looked like a left ankle injury, but Van Heesch back out there on defense. So good news for the Cougars. He's certainly been key for that defense.
I believe now the largest lead of the Cougars for the Cougars in this entire game. They've had a 6-point lead in the past. Now it's up to 7, 26-19. So another important drive here for the defense to hopefully hold Forest City at bay. Under 11 to play now in this fourth quarter. They elect to keep it up the middle. Big hit right at the line of scrimmage. Nice job there defensively by the Cougars to stop that running back. Is nowhere to go there for Guest.
Big hit from Ethan Chupka, number 58. Great job there for the Cougars. You could hear that one all the way up here in the booth. Good contact. And
running back for no gain.
Again, anytime you can get a big hit on that running back, it can pay off down the road. He might not want to go back in between those tackles, might not run quite as hard. Again, Chupka with the big hit there on first down.
2nd and 10 for the Thunderbirds. Couple of flags flying out immediately as Patrick Murphy was in possession of the football. That play blown dead.
Not sure if it was the Thunderbirds.
Looks like it is against Forest City as they're backing up.
Yeah, just a little bit too eager there, jumping before the ball is snapped. So perfect situation here for the Cougars. 2nd and long. Penalties certainly hard to overcome so far in this game.
Clock back in motion now. 10 minutes to go in the game. 7-point edge for the Cougars. 2nd and 15 here for Forest City. Once again, the pitch off to the left. Some big pressure here by the Cougars defense. Running back still on his feet, but not for long. As brought down, Cameron Guest by a couple of Cougars. And amongst them, Connor Wright leading the charge defensively. Throwing down Guest.
Run for Forest City Thunderbirds.
And you know what? That was Connor Van Heesch that had originally got the pressure and forced the running back further outside, setting up the big tackle from Connor Wright. So Connor Van Heesch making a big play there, and then Connor Wright benefiting, making the big tackle, and another big loss. And this Cougars defense really becoming quite stout here in the second half.
3rd and 18 now here for the Forest City Thunderbirds on offense. D just seems to get better and better as this game goes on here for Chatham-Kent. Once again looking to go to the air. Some big pressure here, and down goes the quarterback as Van Heesch once again, you've been calling his name quite a few times in this football game, but he gets the big quarterback sack, and this is going to bring up 4th and 7 miles.
Connor Van Heesch is a man on a mission. He absolutely runs over Alexander Bradbury, who was supposed to tackle him, lined up at running back, and then swallows the quarterback. Connor Van Heesch on a mission. Beautiful play, individual effort, and it pays off. A massive sack there for the Cougars D. And boy, the Thunderbirds in a tough situation here on 4th down.
Backed up to their own 35-yard line. It's 4th and 22. So you got to figure if they can hang on to the football without any problems here on the kick. Some very good field position awaiting the Cougars.
And again, the Thunderbirds have 2 men lined up onside, so the return men for the Cougars going to have to be aware of that.
And they keep it on the ground. A little trickery here. They keep it on the ground. A little bit of room to move along that far side. And unable to get the first down, but they got a good chunk of yards there. At least about maybe 15 yards on the ground. So the Thunderbirds with a valiant try there, trying to catch the Cougars napping in a big way. But still, the Cougars do have some good field position, 50-yard line of the Thunderbirds. So it still works out just fine for Chatham-Kent.
No, that did work out well for the Cougars. Jonathan Cartier makes the big tackle. He was back for the Cougars as one of the return men. He makes the big tackle there, a good sure tackle, and the Cougars get great field position here, as you mentioned, Mike, at the 50-yard line on the Thunderbird side of the football field. Now the big question is, can the Cougars turn this into points after that great defensive stand?
1st and 10 for Chatham-Kent. They hand it off to the running back, who isn't going to get much, maybe a yard, as Lucas Doyle gets the assignment that time. And
a little confusion in the Cougars' backfield.
Looks like he got no gain at all, right back to the line of scrimmage.
And that play a little bit slow to develop there. Not sure if Julian Farrell had some problems with the snap, but wasn't quite as crisp as you'd like to see from the Cougars defense there on that first down call.
2nd and 10 for Chatham-Kent. Out of the shotgun, and the quarterback having a lot of trouble with the snap. A low snap. He fumbled it a couple of times, and fortunately looks like Jonathan Cartier able to pounce on it and keeping possession there, but quite clumsy there by the Cougars, backing this football up on 3rd down and very long now.
Boy, not what you want to see from this Cougars offense at such a crucial time in the game. 6:50 to go and counting here. That ball, Jonathan Cartier had it in his hands, dropped it, and then couldn't pick it up cleanly. Cougars got to maintain their focus. Now it looks like we've got an injury on the field. And you don't like to see that. I think it's Jonathan Cartier running off the field. Maybe a problem with his helmet. And now it looks like we've got a timeout now. But I think he does have an issue with his helmet that the coaching staff looking to get fixed here before they return from this timeout call.
A dynamite opportunity here for the Cougars on this drive to put a lot of distance between them and the Thunderbirds, now getting on here in this 4th quarter, but since they grabbed the football right at midfield, actually at the 50-yard line of the Thunderbirds, they just haven't been able to do anything with it in a couple of plays.
Yeah, the first run, you remember, was slow to develop, and Lucas Doyle didn't gain any yardage. Then the second play, a bit of a low snap, but really one that you believe that Jonathan Cartier should have been able to handle and able to jump on it just before one of the Forst City Thunderbirds was able to. And again, you would have hoped that the Cougars on offense would have come out fired up after that outstanding defensive stand for the Cougars defense, but the offense has sputtered here on the first 2 plays. As we mentioned, a great opportunity here for the Cougars to put some distance between them and Forest City with just 6 minutes and 40 seconds to go in this bronze medal game.
3rd and 15. The 54-yard line, and again, a lot of pressure here. Cartier trying to get around that one defender. He does, keeps it, trying to get some room to move here. Still on his feet. Cartier trying to turn around from 3 defenders. Can't get past the 44-yard line of Forest City. Looks to be maybe 4 yards shy of the first down.
Jonathan Cartier on the run for the Cougars. Comes up about 4 yards short of the
But
first
still a
down
good
before
effort there on 3rd and 15, getting about 11 of those yards back.
And a real nice play by Cartier. He fakes the pass, and it gets the defender to jump in the air. He bites on it and creates some running room on the left-hand side. Cartier uses his speed, but 3 defenders waiting for him there to stop him short of the first down. So a big 4th down here for the Cougars. If they can get a first down and take some more time off of this clock, that would be huge.
Not even a hesitation. They're going to go for it here on 4th and 4 from the 44-yard line in the 4th quarter. Lots of force on the scoreboard. Cartier rolling off to his right. Still a lot of pressure. Going to keep it himself, trying to cut in the middle and get the first down yardage himself. Looks like he is going to take care of that.
My, oh my.
And wow, great job by the Cougars quarterback, Jonathan Cartier. A couple of times looked like he was in a lot of danger to cough this football up, at least on downs. But he is able to move the chain somehow. So from 3rd and 15 to a 4th down gamble that pays off, and they move the chain. So what a sigh of relief for Chatham-Kent there.
And a sigh of relief for the fans in the stands. You could hear everybody holding their breath, and then the signal of the first down, a collective breath of relief. And a great play by Cartier to get that first down, and he was in a world of trouble, but again uses that fake pass to make the defender bite and buy some time.
Another low snap, but dug out by the quarterback. They give it off to the running back, and a gain of maybe a yard, a short gain on 1st and 10. Trying to get up to the 35-yard line. Not sure if they quite made that.
I believe that was Lucas Doyle there with the carry the yards now, getting tougher and tougher now. Forest City knows just how important it is that they not allow any points.
36-yard line. On 2nd and 9, keeping it on the ground, trying to turn the corner along that far side. Good chunk of yardage by the running back for the Cougars as 83. Good job there. Pardon me, 23. It looks like an 8 every time, but 23, Julian Farrell coming up big there.
Massive run there by Farrell, lined up as the quarterback, and a low snap again, but Farrell able to pick it up and then use that speed to get outside that right corner and beat a defender to the edge, and then turn on the Jets. Get more than enough for the first down, and another huge first down for the Cougars, and he stays in bounds, keeps that clock running. We're under 4 minutes to play here now in this 4th quarter.
And that is one of the big keys, trying to keep that clock moving as they keep it on the ground once again. Heading towards the end zone. He might make it in, and he does for the touchdown. Chatham-Kent Cougars and Lucas Doyle with a big touchdown with 3:48 to go in the 4th quarter.
Lucas Doyle up the middle for
And that makes it a 13-point football game, 32-19, with some extra points still on the table here.
Boy, that was absolutely huge. A 20-yard touchdown run by Doyle. We mentioned those yards were hard to come by, but that time Doyle finds a big hole, and he makes the Thunderbirds pay.
Play a little safe here. They're going to go for the extra point, just for the single. And Creakin's kick is up, and it is good. So there's your 14-point lead. Biggest lead by far today for the Cougars. And under 4 minutes to play, so by no means is this football game over. Far from it, but the most comfortable position they've been in all day.
Oh, certainly has been consecutive scores here for the Cougars, and that was all set up by that great defensive stand by that defense of Chatham-Kent, and it pays off there. Doyle caps off that tremendous drive. If you remember, Mike, 3rd and 15, 2 big plays from the quarterback Cartier, and then Doyle caps it off with the 20-yard touchdown run. Very impressive drive there from that Cougars offense. And now the Thunderbirds have their work cut out for them, trailing 33-19 with 3:48 to go here in this football game.
And it's certainly been an impressive defense pretty much all game here for the Cougars, but certainly in this second half they have come up big when they've had to, and they have to keep the pressure going here for another 3:48. And they will be bronze medalists here for the 2013 season of the OFC. Trying to get the mild upset over the Forest City Thunderbirds, who finished 3rd in the regular season in this 3-4 matchup. And won both regular season tilts, Forest City did, but again, we mentioned it was close in both occasions. Line drive kick, grabbed around the 40-yard line for Forest City as they try to get a run back to the 50-yard line, not quite, about the 48. And Cougars starting to get fired up along that far sideline there. 3:43 to go, and hopefully that tenacity will keep up for the D in this drive here for Forest City.
Yeah, nice tackle there from big number 58, Ethan Chupka, limiting the return for Forest City. Of course, the Thunderbirds looking for any big play they can get here. They need a quick score. 3:42 to go and counting, with the Cougars with a 2-score lead. And this defense has been impressive here, especially in the second half.
Ball at the 48-yard line of Forest City. Clock running. Not a lot of time to waste here if you're the Forest City Thunderbirds. They keep it on the ground. Again, a great job by the D-line for the Cougars as two defenders wrapping up the running back immediately.
Ethan Chupka, number 58, and Connor Van Heesch, 54. They meet at the running back, nowhere to go. A loss of a couple yards, and that defensive line is fired up. They have played well this entire game, and again, coming up with a big play there on first down. Cougars able to get a lot of pressure off that left side.
Under 3 to play. Second down and 12, a 2-yard drop on that play. And they go to the air this time around. Pass is complete, but they don't get any headway with it. Looks like it's going to be a loss of yardage as that one was hauled in by Ethan Chambers, but went backwards and quickly wrapped up by the Cougar defense, which really looks focused and determined now.
Great job there by Nakoma Scott. As soon as that ball gets there, Nakoma Scott comes up, number 2, makes a nice sure tackle. No gain, actually a loss, as you mentioned there, Mike. And this defense is putting on a great show here in the second half for the Cougars. And the fans in the stands here on this Day of Champions. Outstanding performance from this D.
Quarterback rolling to his left, trying to find somebody open, keeping the football himself. And after a very minimal gain, he's wrapped up around the 45-yard line.
Looked like that was big 71 Trey Postma on the tackle there. And Forest City looks to be trotting out the punting team, but I wouldn't trust that with 2:11 to go here.
Got to leave everything out on the field here in this bronze medal matchup. 33-19, down by 14. Still 2:11 to play, so anything still is possible.
And certainly the Cougars coaching staff letting the special team squad know exactly the situation here. Watch for any possible fake.
You almost have to expect it here in this situation and time of the football game.
And certainly if they do punt, they're going to have a couple of players lined up on side, and they do. They've got 2 players lined up on side. The Cougars just 1 return man back, and it's Jonathan Cartier.
Clock continues to tick down to 1:38 remaining in the fourth quarter. And they try to block it. Kick is away, and now it's held cleanly by Cartier. Cartier turns up the Jets a little bit, still with the football. Jukes around a couple of defenders, still with it. And still down the sidelines, finally brought down out of bounds deep into Forest City territory. And that, my friends, might ice this one for the Cougars.
An impeccable return there from Cartier. Does a great job catching that ball cleanly out of the air.
18-yard line of Forest City. 1:22 remaining in the fourth quarter.
As you mentioned, Mike, that might ice this one away. Tremendous field position here on that great return by Cartier. And really catching that ball cleanly on the return. That was really key. And then able to make some people miss and nearly take that one back all the way. You got to figure the Cougars just going to keep this one on the ground.
Oh, and they do, and they fumble it. Looks like they might have just recovered it. Oh, no, they lost it to the Forest City Thunderbirds. So they do keep it on the ground, and that's what forced them to turn it over. Deep in Forest City territory. So 1:19 left to go here in this fourth quarter.
Boy, certainly not what you want to see happen there if you're the Cougars in that offense. You keep the ball on the ground because you don't want to turn it over. Certainly you're telling everybody to keep 2 hands on that football, but little mix-up there, and the Cougars do turn that football over. Now the defense going to have to come out. Minute 19 to go here in this football game.
And 2 timeouts left to go here for the Thunderbirds.
You never want to open the door of opportunity, but Cougars defense now got to refocus after that turnover on first down of the Cougars offense.
First and 10 from the 20-yard line. They keep it on the ground. A short gain here for Forest City.
Boy, that was big number 54 again. Connor Van Heesch just beating his man off the line and getting back there and swallowing up the running back. Well, you can't say enough about the performance of this defensive line of this Cougars squad here today. Certainly, you got to figure that the Cougars were fired up. As we said, they played 2 close games during the regular season against this Thunderbird squad and came out on the losing end in both of them. So they certainly had to come out fired up here today and motivated, and they've shown that so far.
Surprise here by Forest City Thunderbirds as clock continued to run down. And down by 14 points. 2 timeouts left. Looks like they're just going to take the knee, and the Cougars celebrating along the far sideline. And certainly a surprising move, conceding victory with still seemingly lots of time left on the clock.
Yeah,
down by a couple of touchdowns.
There was over a minute left. Usually you play it to the end. You never know if you get one big play. You run it all the way down. You try the onside kick. You never know what's going to happen. But Forest City deciding to take a knee instead. And looks like the Cougars going to win the bronze medal here today in this bronze medal matchup.
Coaching staff already with the Gatorade shower along the far sideline there, celebrating the bronze medal of this afternoon. And should be very happy with their 2013 campaign. A hard-fought football game today, beating the 3rd-seeded Forest City Thunderbirds. And it is now official. Chatham-Kent Cougars bronze medalists for 2013 as they are celebrating in a big way along their far sideline. And a great football game today. Very close right to the very end. And the Cougars in the Peewee division win the bronze for this year as they came in 4th seeded and a slight upset over Forest City. So a great job today and great job all season long for the Peewees of the Cougars.
Yeah, you know what? That was a tremendous matchup. What a great game that was. Really the 4th quarter, the deciding factor there. The Cougars defense came up big with some big plays, and then the offense was able to convert when they were in some tough situations. And but an outstanding game all around, and you couldn't have asked for a better effort for a big game like this. And credit to the Cougars organization for putting on such a great day here, the Day of Champs for the Peewees. Certainly enjoyed by all the fans here. You could see them throughout the entire game, really engaged, and we had a close one. And just a great day all around. You couldn't have asked for anything better, and a great job by both squads, both coaching staffs, and certainly appreciated here by the fans and the volunteers as well. Couldn't have asked for a better matchup.
And you could have gone either way for a lion's share of this football game. Thunderbirds really putting the pressure onto the Cougars a lot of this football game. Kudos to them for sure as we have the midfield handshakes to wrap up this season here. The Peewees, but the Cougars bronze medalists in this Day of Champs. And you couldn't, Mother Nature just treating us very, very nicely today for all 3 football games. Just a beautiful day for football.
Yeah, it certainly was. We mentioned some of the situations we've had with the weather, especially this week. We had intense humidity But the rain came last night and kind of took a lot of that humidity out of the air, and really some relief for the players today, because I couldn't imagine playing in some of the heat that we've had this week. And it was just a perfect day, a nice little breeze, and great performance from both teams.
I guess that's going to do it for summertime football. We'll talk to you again in the fall, the Chatham-Kent Cougars. But that wraps up the season here. It's been another great summertime here with TV Coach Go and the Chatham-Kent Cougars, the Peewee division, enjoying bronze with their win today, 33-19, the final score over the Forst City Thunderbirds. So congrats to the Peewees and all divisions of the Chatham-Kent Cougars. The 2013 season. Entertaining stuff throughout this campaign. And on behalf of everybody putting this together, Jeff Brooks on the camera, the production crew, Mike James. It's been great working with you again for our, what, 5th season now? Been doing this for a long time.
Great time.
Man, oh man. So
we
we'll
really
do this.
appreciate the support.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll do this again. Hopefully we'll have us back in the fall. I guess we shouldn't count our chickens just yet.
No.
But hopefully they'll have us back for some fall-time football. My name is Mike Renier. You've been watching the Chatham-Kent Cougars. Peewees winning bronze today at the Athletic Complex, 33-19 over the Forst City Thunderbirds. Thanks for watching Cougars football. TV Coach Go.